Hi guys, this is Mia from Mima Design Laser Files. I'll be showing you a few painting techniques today because lately I've been making these spinning Valentine ornaments, tags, magnets, whatever. And a lot of you questioned how I paint. So first off, here's part of 2 files for chocolate boxes with the same pattern as the spinners. I never ever mask my wood. If I want to get rid of the residue marks, I sand it afterwards. My laser does need a good cleaning, that's why it has some extra residue on it, but I'll show you how to paint. So if you take this one as example, this was painted by acrylic markers. And I use these acrylic paint markers that I bought from Amazon. It's 36 paint pens and 72 colors. So they have colors in both ends, which are really nice and they cover so well. So if I want to start with that, I'll go ahead and paint the edge. I want this to be red. So this will take a bit, so I might speed up the video, but what I'm doing is following these scored lines and paint it like a coloring book. So that's the edge, but as you might can see, it's a little flimsy because I actually forgot to sand my pieces first. So I'll give it a second coat anyway, but first I want to take a very fine sanding thingy and just rub it over. So that's the edge. For the string hearts in the middle, I'm thinking about using metallic markers, which I truly love as well. So I'll find a red one. And these has a fine end and a dot end. I'll use the fine end. And again, paint it like a coloring book. And since you have the scored lines, you can just kind of wipe over and still be able to see them afterwards. I want my inner heart to be a different color, so I'll wait with that one. So that's the hearts, and it actually didn't take long, about 5 minutes to paint these. For the inner heart, I want it to be pinkish, so let's see if I can find a color for that. Maybe this one. And the great thing about using acrylic markers is that if you just wipe them gently over the text, it will not go into the scoring. I might be changing the colors for this one, but as you can see, it's not hard to use acrylic paint pens for painting stuff like this. Also, I have some small areas. I just did a quick version to show you how you can use acrylic markers. So I'll leave this here and my pens so I can find the colors and move on to another thing that I like to use. So if you've seen my tutorials before, I like to use watercolor, because with watercolor you can still be able to keep the scored lines and see them, and it's also great to stay with the color. This one was painted 1 year ago and is sitting in a tray that we use daily, and there's no discoloration whatsoever. And I didn't even protect this one, it's just watercolor. So the watercolor I use is actually my son's from Primo. It's a child brand, Italian child brand. So what you'll do first, because I don't mask, I will give this a nice cleaning and get rid of some of the scored marks, because they might be visible beneath the watercolor. And it's not perfect, but this will work. And when I sand scored stuff, I like to take a dry paintbrush and just wipe off the sand dust. So you'll also need water and a brush. So let's see how this will turn out. So I'm thinking I'll do a pink, and I'll make some details on this. So this is basically the background color, you could say. So I want the edge to be pink as well as the heart, and then I'll use my metallic markers like I did on that one and paint the string hearts. What's great with watercolor is that you can blend it, and if you think the color is too light, you'll just go over it again and add some more color to it. And actually this is one of the fastest ways of painting scored things, in my opinion. It's so easy and you can't really mess it up. For the heart I might even go a little lighter. So I'll take my pink and a lighter color like white and just kind of blend it. And I'm not worried about hitting the string hearts, because as said, I'll be using a paint marker on those afterwards. So I'll just let this dry now, and I can show you how to paint the string hearts once this is dry. So let's move this away. Next thing I'll show you is staining. I like to stain as well when I'm using scored stuff. This is a water gel from V33. Let's see if I can get this one open. Where's my opener? There it was. And the beautiful part about staining is that it doesn't take long, and you can use it even though you have scored marks. So I use foam brushes, and I just kind of dip it in the can, wipe off some excess and dab it a little, and then just wipe it. I always wipe in the wood direction, and it's so easy and fast to do. I don't know if you'll be able to find the same stain as I'm using, but you could probably find something similar to it. Or just do whatever you have and see if that works. but you could see how fast and easy it is just to stain everything. When I started my business, I was all about quick and easy staining and on with it. But after doing this for a while, I really like to put a little more effort into my files and work. So that's all stained and ready to dry. Another super fast and easy thing to do is to use alcohol ink markers. I used to love these, but my last year's projects, like this one, you could see how the colors will not be pretty after a year or so. I don't know if you decided to coat it with polyacrylic or something like that, if it would actually keep the colors, but I find the colors to fade after a year, and it looks like a mess. So I'll be using my alcohol ink markers now just to show you how they work, but I might just throw this in the trash afterwards, to be honest. So once again, since I didn't sand, I'll just wipe them over real quick. And let's see, I have some deep red. Oops. There. That's almost empty. Let's find another. Cherry pink, maybe. Yeah. So, as you see, it's super easy to paint with because you can just move all the way up to the line and it will kind of bleed up to the next chord line. Which is why I originally loved to paint with these. But it's not so cool that it will look as a mess afterwards. But it's quick and easy for sure. So if you have an idea to keep the colors, please let me know in the comments. Because I'd love to be able to use these for the future. Also, when you use alcohol ink markers, you're still able to see the grains from the wood, which I love in all things I make, because I like to have my customers see that this is wood and it's not just some cheap sublimation stuff. I think I'll take a brown something in the back to make it look a bit like wood, just on the strings. And if I did say black, I meant brown. But as you might see, they are very easy to work with, because they'll automatically bleed onto the next chord line and stop. And again, I'll just do these two parts with my alcohol ink marker because I want the hearts to be gold, so I'll use my acrylic metallic markers for those. But that's the strings and the frame. And as you can see, you're still able to see the scored text and everything else. And my metallic markers, I want a gold color. This one is busted, so I'll take this one instead. And keep in mind that I'm doing this from the side, so I'm not looking straight at it like you are, which might suggest that this is easier, or is as easy as it looks like. So here you go. Okay, so something else that I really love to do and work with is my chalk paint. The hard part is to keep the scored lines when you're using chalk paint or just simple acrylics paint. But I have a little technique that will work, and it's using a brush or something, and you have to make sure that it's only dabbing. So I'll dab just what I have beneath, and just without pushing, just kind of wipe it, dab it. If I didn't have the scored lines, I would just use a regular foam brush, and it would be the easiest thing in the world just to wipe over, because chalk paint covers excellent. And my chalk paint, by the way, is from a Danish brand called Fleur, bought in Sicily. I found out that even though it states Danish or made in Copenhagen on the back, you might only be able to find it in Sicily. That's where we are currently stationed, but I am Danish. So carefully wipe it down so you don't get paint stuck inside the scored lines. I might take a foam brush anyway and see if I can make that work. I think I prefer to dab it actually. So if you do have problems with the paint getting stuck inside the scored lines, I don't know if you're even able to see it, but I have a little going on here. you take a sharp tool. Let's see if I can find my knife somewhere in the mess. Oh, I have this. This is a dentist tool that I use for vinyl. But this is awesome at this too. So you could use your knife, you could use toothpick or a sewing needle, something like that. And just kind of scrape out the paint that went wrong. Also, when looking at it now, I can see I missed a few spots. So there you go. This is pretty easy and fast to do as well. The last technique that I really wanted to show you is spray painting, but it's raining outside right now and I always spray paint outside, so I can't really show you this one. So I don't know what I'll do instead. I don't think I have any more techniques to show you, really. What I could do is to paint it and show you how to glitter up. So for this one, I'll paint it a little more messy, but that's okay because I'll use glitter afterwards. So this will just be painted real quick. But feel free to use your spray paint, because spray paint will also, if you point the painter in the right direction, it will not go inside the scored lines. So you could see that some of the scored lines are covered in paint, but I'm okay with that on this one because I'll be using glitter. I could just finish up this one. All the other is drying. And for this one, I want to use my metallic ink markers as well. And if you hear some noise in the back, it's my son. It's Saturday today. So both my son and husband is playing outside. So this was the watercolor one that I just did with metallic ink markers on the heart. I might be changing up some of these colors before listing the files. But anyway, you can see how techniques work now and decide what you want to do. So for the last one, I wanted to add some glitter. I think I'll go ahead and use this one. So what I always do is that I take a piece of paper to avoid a lot of mess. Let's move this out of the way. Oops. And I'll just pour the glitter directly to my paper. Like that. Give it a little shake. And for the thing you want to soak in glitter, I'll take some glue. You could use regular bottle glue, but I have this stuff that's in a can already. This is just wood glue. You could use Mod Podge or whatever you have. Take a foam brush. And apply paints. Or glue, sorry. make sure that your glue is covering all the surface. And kind of dab it down. Like that. Give it a shake, or sorry, tap it, I think it's called, and there you go. This is gorgeous as well. Once your glue is dry, I recommend that you seal it with some polyacrylic or something like that to prevent the glitter from falling off. If you have some small areas like I do here, you can just add a little more glue, like that, and dip it again, knock off excess, and there you go. Another thing I do for glitter details is, just see if I can get this on. Oh, and the reason that I use paper is because I take off the top afterwards. Oops. Like that. And gently fold my paper. Give it a little squeeze, so you have this thing that will make it go back to the can. And then fold your paper. And now you don't have glitter everywhere. So that's also a great tip. So that's one type of glitter. I also have these. You can find it. There you go. This is also an Italian brand that I bought from my son. This is glitter glue. So you have the glitter inside these containers, and there's already glue inside it. So I could show you that. Let's take this one. So the cool thing about this is that you just take a regular paintbrush and you can brush it on like paint. There's not a lot of options to the color, but they look pretty decent once they're on. And when they're dry, you can't see the glue at all. So I did this on both my acrylic paintings and also on watercolor, like this one is. I'll just finish this and I'll show you the other one I did. I don't know where you can find this, but you might be able to find it on Amazon. I bought this one in a Chinese superstore in Sicily. And if you want, I can show you how to spray paint when the weather is better in Sicily. But for now, these are pretty much all of my techniques. So you could see this one was also done with the glitter glue. I don't know if you can see it for the light, but it's very pretty. Let's see if I can show it. There you go. So you see how it glitter wraps? You might even see this a little better now. The glitter will look better once it's dry. So that's it from me now. I'll be working on listing these files so you can buy them. But I hope you learned a little bit about painting techniques and you can use it for the future. Bye!